We stand afraid of shadows cast by doubt, whispered fears of what they'll talk about. Got dreams that wait in line behind our pride, but courage lives where fear is set aside. So many dreams, collected dust on shelves, scared to fail, so we hide our true selves. But life will pass and so will all those stares. Nobody's watching as much as we think they care. So step into the light, don't fear the fall. The only limits here are built by walls. Tear them down and seize what you deserve. You're stronger than the whispers you've heard. Got plans to make, but fear keeps you in place. Afraid to lose, or maybe scared to chase. But what if magic waits around the bend? Go grab it now, don't let the doubters win. We wear these masks to hide what we believe, but truth has power when worn on your sleeve. Reach for the stars, they're closer than they seem. Your path is clear, don't let them steal your dream. So step into the light, don't fear the fall. The only limits here are built by walls. Tear them down and seize what you deserve. You're stronger than the whispers you've heard. Got plans to make, but fear keeps you in place. Afraid to lose, or maybe scared to chase. But what if magic waits around the bend? Go grab it now, don't let the doubters win. We wear these masks to hide what we believe, but truth has power when worn on your sleeve. Reach for the stars, they're closer than they seem. Your path is clear, don't let them steal your dream.
They say I don't live in reality, and dreams I float like a stream. They say I need to grow up, who cares? Life's a wild, crazy thing. Sorry for thinking you can be successful. Magic in the air we breathe. I believe too much in you, girl, more than the things they preach. They say I don't see their ways, never colored inside their lines. But I'm dancing on the edge to my own rhythm, feeling fine. Not everyone is not me, and that's my favorite part. We are wild, untamed, and free, with fire inside our hearts. Whispering tales of dreams on a road less traveled by. Our footsteps light as feathers in the glowing sunset sky. Sorry for thinking you can be successful. Magic in the air we breathe. I believe too much in you, girl, more than the things they preach. I don't see their ways, never colored inside their lines. But I'm dancing on the edge to my own rhythm fees they preach. They say I don't see their ways, never colored inside their lines. But I'm dancing on the edge to my own rhythm feelings they preach. Not everyone is not me, and that's my favorite part. We are wild, untamed, and free, with fire inside our hearts. Whispering tales of dreams on a road less traveled by. Our footsteps light as feathers in the glowing sunset sky. Not everyone is not me, and that's my favorite part. We are wild, untamed, and free, with fire inside our hearts. Whispering tales of dreams on a road less traveled by. Our footsteps light as feathers in the glowing sunset sky. Whispering tales of dreams on a road less traveled by. Our footsteps light as feathers in the glowing sunset sky. Not everyone is not me.
It's Tech Coach Ralph TV.
Yeah, men lie, women lie, numbers manipulate. Don't matter what no one say, I throw the stats away. No need for calculators, we already greater. No need to validate us. It's Tech Coach Ralph TV. Get up, it is Saturday morning. I've got to get my coffee cause I can't stop yawning. Get to watch my favorite show today. Men lie, women lie, numbers manipulate. Tech Coach Ralph and Mitch and Yakar, that's how it be. Shooting galaxies from their hands, it's Tech Coach Ralph TV. You don't need to grab your remote because you'll be floating free. Don't gotta worry about negative forces, it's positivity. Get up, it is Saturday morning. I've got to get my coffee cause I can't stop yawning. Get to watch my favorite show today. Men lie, women lie, numbers manipulate. Get up, it is Saturday morning. I've got to get my coffee cause I can't stop the yawning. But I get to watch my favorite show today. Men lie, women lie, numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Men lie, women lie. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Men lie, women lie. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Tech Coach Ralph and Mitch and Yakar, that's how it be. Shooting galaxies from their hands, it's Tech Coach Ralph TV. You don't need to grab your remote because you'll be floating free. Don't gotta worry about negative forces, it's positivity. Tech Coach Ralph and Mitch and Yakar, that's how it be. Shooting galaxies from their hands, it's Tech Coach Ralph TV. You don't need to grab your remote because you'll be floating free. Don't gotta worry about negative forces, it's positivity. Get up, it is Saturday morning. I've got to get my coffee cause I can't stop yawning. Get to watch my favorite show today. Men lie, women lie, numbers manipulate. Yeah, number manipulate. Yeah, numbers manipulate. Yeah, Numbers manipulate.
Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone doing today? I am feeling so much better. Welcome to the Men Lie, Women Lie, Numbers Manipulate show. That is where we review the weekly economic numbers and bring it back to careers, tech. Everything is connected. Everything is connected. This show is co-hosted by my two friends, Mitch and Yakar. I am Tech Coach Ralph. We are engineered to win.
We the best.
We are the best. We are the best. So we don't have that many economic indicators to review today. We have about 4, but hopefully they're short. But we do have some topics that I do want to cover as well. So after we review the economic topics, then we're going to talk really quick. So I have been requested to review this DXYZ by Melvin for a while now. So we're going to do a quick look at what that is to see. I forgot exactly what he said, but we're going to check that out. Then I want to take a quick look at this Share It Act that was signed into law by the outgoing president, President Biden. Something about tech source code for the federal government. And then we're going to talk about the term limits. And I want to see yours. I see your car's already sharing his thoughts about it. I want to see what the poll says. I want to see your thoughts. And I want to share my thoughts as well. So that is the game plan for today. Before we go any further, though, I do want to make some quick announcements of some upcoming show modifications for the new year. So, I've already been talking about that. We're going to be working on the ethical hacking course on Thursday nights, starting sometime in mid-January after we wrap up our economic dictionary, because we still need to get that for our Saturday morning show. But yesterday, just talking to Yakar and doing some research, and I saw that large language models are becoming a bigger and bigger thing. My guy, Don, he is well versed in that. I'm like, you know what? We probably should get a lot more familiar with that as well and learn more about prompt engineering, because whenever people say, hey, I want to get into tech, what field should I go to? The default, which has been my default as well, is to say, oh, you should check out cybersecurity, you should check out cloud engineering, and there's still software engineering, there's still QA and stuff like that. But one that is slowly sneaking in is prompt engineering. And one thing that I know, that the better that you can prompt your learning, your large language models, the better results you will get. And a quick example, using the AI music generator that I use, which the Victory album is in all streaming services. So definitely check that out. Tech Coach Ralph, Victory album. You will see that over there. I'm getting very, very positive feedback on my Victory album. I digress. So, what we're going to start doing on the morning shows, and I might or might not add an additional day for the morning shows, but for the morning shows, on Mondays and Wednesdays, we are going to not review the news. We might still do the weekly economic numbers on Monday if they're available, so that we can prepare for our Saturday, but we're not going to go into a deep dive in the news. What I'll probably do is extend the Saturday morning show and review the top news headlines, either before or after we get into the economic numbers. So maybe we extend that show a little bit. But the reason that I'm taking that out for the morning shows during the week is because we are going to be learning about large language models and prompt engineering in the morning, because I only have so many nights, right? But guess what? There are 24 hours in a day, 8,760 hours in a year. And on a leap year, it's 8,784 hours. So we have to make the most of that time. So I'm like, you know what? The news that comes out that we normally review, if I read about it on Mondays or Wednesdays or Saturdays, it doesn't really make my life that much of a difference for that moment in time. So I'm like, we can still review some news articles. We'll take the top articles and we'll move it to Saturday mornings. And then we will focus on the prompt engineering course in the morning shows, right? So it's a full 45 minutes to an hour going through the projects of the course, which I will show you the course right now that we're going to be going through. I will show you the course that we're going to be going through. Let's go to here, and I'm just going to share the course that I have signed up for. You see that I signed up for it. What is it? I signed up for it yesterday. So this is the course. What is this? Racket 2. All right. So this is the course, right? LLM engineering, master AI, large language models, and agents, right? So become an LLM engineer in 8 weeks. I'll tell you this right now. We are going to take a lot longer than just 8 weeks to get through this course, because this is like, if we're working on it every single day for like an hour, 2 hours a day, we're not going to stream that. So what my plan is to do is what we'll do, like looking through the course, right? We have, and I already started watching some of the videos. They get right into the, start doing something. So we're probably going to do like day one, try to do per week, right? So maybe day one is going to be our first week, where we're going to be maybe 2 or 3 days. We're going to be, going through this, setting up Anaconda, setting up Jupyter Labs, creating our env file, and then creating this AI-powered web page summarizer, which is something that we were thinking about doing. For what do you call it? For the Urban Dictionary of Economic Data, where we could like get a summary of what we're looking at. So and then there's like a bunch of other stuff that we're going to go through step by step. All of that good stuff. So the link is in the description of the video. If you are interested in learning more about language learning models, or large language models, but you do need to have some type of Python background. They do not teach you Python, which shows why it is so important to get a lot more familiar with these learning how to code, because I learned how to code in Python 2-3 years ago, and because I've been using Python at work for the past almost 2 years now, right? That means that we are in a perfect position to jump right into this large language models engineering course. So that's why everything is connected. Everything is connected the same way. I was even thinking about using Docker to install Anaconda and Jupyter notebooks and all that, but I'm like, it's okay. I'll install it on this computer. So everything's connected, but this is what we're going to be doing in the mornings so that we can be very, very well-rounded and prepared. I heard a conversation last night. I'm gonna go back to full screen. I heard a conversation last night about how the U.S. education system is like, doesn't set you up for success and stuff like that. And for me, I'm like, well, school here is free. In a lot of other countries, you have to pay for school. You don't get free education. And being that school here is free, and you can get AP courses, you can get honors courses, you can get gifted classes, all that stuff for free if you apply yourself, Smokey. But then we want to blame. So for me, what I think is we blame the school system for the lack of push from the parents. So if it is our education system, why is it that a lot of people thrive in our education system while a lot of other people, they complain about it? That's my thoughts. People want our education system to babysit their kids, while other parents say, you know what? I'm going to make the most of this free education that the US is offering to us. And now their kids, they get 4.0 GPAs. They go to the best colleges, but guess what? They're going through the same. I mean, the school itself that they might go to might be better than others. But that's based on your property taxes, based on your neighborhood. So figure that out. All right. Anyways, we are going to jump into the show. But before I do that, I am going to check the chat. I saw all your comments about the term limits, but I saved those for later. But I just want to say, first and foremost, we got Mr. Technique in the building. What's up, your car? How are you doing today? And we got my guy Mitch in the building. Mitch says the poll should be maybe or depends instead of just yes or no. Well, Mitch, the poll is yes or no. Okay, where does the maybe fall in? Where does the depends fall in? It's either, do you want term limits or do you not want term limits? So you're gonna say, oh, for this one person, I don't want term limits, but for this other person, I want term limits. It's yes or no. Term limits for all or term limits for none. That's the poll, Mitch. That is the poll. And Mitch is excited about the large language model, being that he's a data analyst himself. He's like, By the way, Mitch, do you code in Python, Mitch? Do you code in Python? Just curious. And your car says, I'll finish it in 2 weeks max. Go for it, your car. If you can finish in 2 weeks, that is awesome. But I'm going to go slow and steady because the only time that I have to work on this is in the morning because my schedule is booked. And it says Laura and Chlora is wild. I don't even know what that is, but I'm sure we're going to find out at some point. And Mitch says, this is why your brain is cooked. I'm feeling way much better today, Mitch. I am on it today. All right. So we are going to get started. We're going to run through these economic numbers. Let me share this screen right here and let's get to it. So what do we have to review for today? We have, let me see, make this a little bit bigger. All right. So we have for Monday, December 23rd, the durable goods report, the CB consumer confidence, and the new home sales. We didn't have anything from LinkedIn, so we're going to use Bloomberg. And Mitch, by the way, just share why you say it depends, and then I'll star it, and then we'll review it in our discussion about term limits. So share why you say it depends, and if your vote can be a comment. All right, so we'll go with that. All right, so let's jump into the Urban Dictionary of Economic Data. And let's go to the home screen and we're going to search for, what is this report? It was the durable goods. Let's check out durable goods. I thought we reviewed this last week. Let me see. No, I guess we didn't. So, for the durable goods report, drop me a comment of what position or role we should search for to see what the an example of the durable goods report and how that affects somebody, right? So it says the U.S. Census Bureau is a government group that collects information about things happening in the country. One of the reports they make is about durable goods. So what are durable goods? These are large, big expenses, expensive things that people or businesses buy and expect to last a long time. For example, cars, refrigerators, airplanes, and furniture. An airplane is definitely a durable good. When people or companies order more of these things, it usually means they feel confident about the future because they're spending money on items that will last for years. So what does the report tell us? If orders are increasing, it means businesses and people are spending more, which is usually a good sign for the economy is doing well. If orders are decreasing, it could mean people and companies are being careful with their money, which can suggest the economy is slowing down. So why is this report important? This report helps business owners understand and government leaders understand how healthy the economy is. If orders are up, companies might hire more workers to build these products. If orders are down, they might slow things down. All right, so let's go to get an example. Let's customize our experience. And we're going to say an accountant. And we're going to search that. We still have to add our loading indicator. But let's see. So for an accountant, this information can be really important if they're working with a company that sells bicycles. Bicycles is your best example. I guess a bicycle is a durable good because a bicycle should last you. Let me see. A bicycle should last you a few years. All right, so it says the accountant might use this data to help the company decide how many bicycles to make this year. If the report shows a big increase in bicycle sales, the accountant might suggest that the company should produce more bicycles to meet the demand. This could help the company make more money because they won't miss out on sales. On the other hand, if the report shows that bicycle sales are dropping, the accountant might advise the company to be more careful about how many bicycles they make so they don't end up with a lot of unsold bikes. All right, cool. That works for me. That works for me. So let's take a look at the report. Is this the right report though? Let's see. That is the right report. So let's see. Durable good new orders. And so, all right. So new orders for manufactured durable goods in November, down 3 of the last 4 months, decreased to $3 billion or 1.1% to 285.1 billion. The U.S. Census Bureau announced today. This followed a 0.8% October increase, excluding transportation. New orders decreased 0.1%, excluding defense. New orders decreased 0.3%. Transportation equipment is also down 3 of the last 4 months, led the decrease 2.9 billion or 2.9% to 95.5 billion. Is that the whole report? I guess that is the whole report. Look at that. Let me see. Anything else on this report? Let's see. I guess that's the whole report. That was a quick hit. Yeah, well, it is, so it decreased $3 billion, or so it's down 1.1% from, let's see, from October. October was 288.1 billion. November is 285.1 billion, down 1.1. So people are buying less of large items, which would say that if we look at our Urban Dictionary, it would say that if orders are decreasing, it could mean that people and companies are being careful with their money, which can suggest the economy is slowing down. So I wouldn't say just based on 1 month that's what's happening. It's possible that because it's Black Friday, well, I don't know, because Black Friday, people do buy so I would say, let's see what the report is for December. Let's see what the report is for December and January to see how that's going. Because 1 month going down, I'm not too worried about that. But if it was consistently going down month over month, then that would be a sign of trouble. But they did say that if down 3 of the last 4 months, so that is a pretty bad, okay, so I would say it looks like it's slowing down. So we shall see. But let's go back to full screen. Let's go to, let me see. Let me start Mitch's comment about the pens. Let's start that one. All right, so Mitch says, a bike in this era lasts less than a week. Put it on social media. It's your question is still very general. Supply and demand seems to be the only data point that. So I think, all right. So I would say that just saying an accountant is very general. But if we say an accountant for, a, I don't know, give me say an accountant for a wine refinery. So the prompt is only as good as what you pass into it, right? So if you just say an accountant, then it's going to be very general. But if we say accountant for a wine refinery, it says, so let's say if we look over here, it says the U.S. Census Bureau, right? So here's how it'd be helpful to an accountant at a wine refinery. Understanding sales trends, the accountant might look at the report to see if there is a rising trend in durable goods being sold. If people are buying more wine producing products or equipment, it could mean that more wineries are opening. It could lead to more sales for the wine refinery. Budgeting for new equipment. If the report shows that prices for wine barrels or fermentation tanks are expected to go up, the accountant can help the winery prepare to buy those items sooner than later to save money. Investing decisions. The accountant might use the data to advise the wine refinery on whether it's a good time to invest in new equipment based on industry trends. If there's a lot of orders for those goods, it might be a good sign that the business could grow. So let's see. So your card says that it's still going to drop from supply and demand. Watch. It's the common data point in all of these outputs. I mean, I'm guessing. So, all right, your card. What would like? Okay, what would you use as an example to see like what your thoughts are? That way we can see what it's missing when it comes to the report on durable goods, and then that way we can see what it's lacking, and then we can refine our prompt, right? But it's also based on the prompt that's being passed in from the back end as well. You know, there's so many moving pieces with when prompting that, like, if we, I don't feel like pulling up the code, but it is saying that pass it, like using the what we're passing in on this type of level. So I think based on what you prompt, it could be as complicated as you want or as simple as you want as well. So while there is a big component of AI being like limited to what is being fed, there's another component to how we're prompting it as well. That's what I would think. Anyways, let's continue on. Guys says, because I'm learning more about this, I see what's going on in the background. But what I'm saying, there's multiple backgrounds. There's our background for the app that we built, and there's the background of the AI model itself on what it's trained on, as you said. Let's see. It says, remember when we asked about morticians? I remember that. But remember, we have a pre-built prompt in our backend as well, so that it's not returning as complicated a response as possible as it could. So, I think there's a bunch of moving factors into it, but I agree with what you're saying. All right, let's see what else we got. All right, let's go back over here. Let's get to our next point for today, the CB consumer confidence. All right, so let's check out the consumer confidence. Let's go over here and let's go back to here and let's say consumer confidence. All right, consumer confidence survey. Let's go to that one. All right, the Conference Board's consumer confidence survey. It says the Conference Board's consumer confidence survey is like a big poll to see how confident people feel about the economy. Every month, a group of people across the United States answer questions about how things are going in their lives financially and what they expect to happen in the future. They answer questions like, do you think jobs are easy or hard to find? Are you making more or less money than before? Do you think things will get better or worse in the next few months? From their answers, we get two main scores. Present situation index, this score tells us how people feel about the economy right now. Expectations index, this score is based on how people feel about the future of the economy. It says these scores help businesses and the government make decisions. For example, if a lot of people are worried about the future, businesses might not spend as much money on new projects. The survey acts like a mood check on the economy, helping everyone understand how Americans feel about spending money and finding jobs. Let's go with. All right, so let's go with another job role. How about let's go with a business development representative. And if you have another example, I will check that one after. But let's go to BDR, right? A BDR, not a BBL, but a BDR, a business development representative. And all right, so let's say all right, this sounds weird already, but imagine you're on a lemonade stand. All right, hold on. Let me do something real quick. Because we're going to make these examples a little bit more better. Let's go to you are a college professor. All right, let's do that. And I'm going to do the search again. So I just upped the example level, so that we can get better examples, and not the super simple examples. All right. So here we go. So for a business development representative, the scenario: let's say you work for a tech company selling software. It says positive consumer confidence. If the consumer confidence survey shows that people are feeling optimistic, businesses are likely to invest in new software like your company's product. This means that as a BDR, you might focus on reaching out to companies in various industries, pitching your software as a solution to optimize their operations or increase productivity. You might host webinars or events that attract potential clients who are in growth mode because they feel confident in their spending, right? So I just changed one word in the prompt that I'm in the role of ChatGPT that I'm passing in, or of OpenAI, and I removed the level of education to explain it on, and we got a totally different example, from a lemonade stand to actually a BDR role, selling software, right? So negative consumer confidence. Conversely, if the survey shows that consumer confidence is low, businesses may be more cautious with their spending. As a BDR, you might need to adjust your strategy. Instead of trying to sell expensive software packages, you might focus on smaller, more affordable solutions. You could also emphasize cost-saving features of your product to appeal to businesses that are looking to cut costs during tough economic times. All right. So in summary, the consumer confidence survey helps you understand the overall mood of the market. By keeping an eye on these trends, you can tailor your sales approach, timing, and messaging to better connect with potential clients, ultimately boosting your chance of making successful sales. Good enough. All right, cool, perfect. So now let's go to the report. But like I was saying, a big factor in what you get out of it is what you are passing into it, especially on the back end. All right, so it says the consumer confidence survey. All right, so we got that. All right, so released Monday, December 23rd. U.S. consumer confidence pulled back in December. All right, so let's see. The consumer confidence, the Conference Board's consumer confidence index declined by 8.1 points in December to 104.7. What? The present situation index, based on consumer assessment of current business and labor market conditions, fell 1.2 points to 140.2. The expectation index, based on the consumer's short-term outlook for income, business, and labor market conditions, tumbled 12.6 points to 81.1, just above the threshold of 80 that usually signals a recession ahead. Oh my goodness. The cutoff date for preliminary results was December 16th, 2024. Says the recent rebound in consumer confidence was not sustained in December, as the index dropped back to the middle of the range as it has prevailed over the past 2 years, said Dana M. Peterson, chief economist at the Consumer Board. While weaker consumer assessments of the present situation and expectations contributed to the decline, the expectations component saw the sharpest drop. Consumer views of current labor market conditions continue to improve, consistent with recent jobs and unemployment data. But their assessment of business conditions weakened compared to last month. Consumers in December were substantially less optimistic about future economic conditions and incomes. Moreover, more pessimism about future employment prospects returned after cautious optimism prevailed in October and November.
Bruh.
Among age groups, December's fall in confidence was led by consumers over 35 years old. Consumers under 35 became more confident. Among income groups, the decline was concentrated in consumers with household earnings between $25K to $100K, while consumers at the bottom and top of the income range reported only limited change in confidence. Only a 6 month, on a 6 month moving average, the consumers aged 35 and those earning over 100K remain the most confident. And that makes sense to me. All right, so let's see. Peterson added consumers became a bit less bullish about the stock market in December. 52.9% expect stock prices to increase over the year, ahead down from a record high of 57.2% in November. Also, 25% of consumers expected stock prices to decline, up from 21.7%. The share of consumers expecting higher interest rates over the next 12 months ticked up to 48.5, but remained near recent lows. So people are thinking that our interest rates are also going to go up. The share expecting lower rates eased to 29.3, down from recent months, but still quite high. The proportion of consumers anticipating a recession over the next 12 months was stable near the series low. Meanwhile, consumers' assessment of their family financial situation, both current and over the next 6 months, weakened. Average 12-month inflation expectations stabilized at 5% in December, the lowest since March of 2020. Additionally, references to inflation and prices dominated write-in responses. Asked what goods and services they expect to be more affordable in 2025. Consumers mostly selected food and gas. Costs of gyms and live events, concerts, and sports are considered least likely to be more affordable next year. I can agree with that. I can agree with that. And because of that,
congratulations, you played yourself.
And people are still going to be selling it out because we are so hooked on entertainment. All right, so on a 6-month moving average basis, purchasing plans for homes were down slightly in December, potentially reflecting rising mortgage rates despite Fed rate cuts. Did you guys notice that? I saw that the Feds have cut rates in, was it September? And then just recently, and I saw the mortgage rates going up. Imagine that. And I heard that a house on my block just got foreclosed on. What is really going on in the housing market? What is really going on in the housing market? All right. Anyways, let's continue. It says purchasing plans for autos continue to increase and more consumers plan to buy big ticket items over the next 6 months than not. However, consumer buying plans for most appliances and electronics were still down on a 6-month moving average basis. Separately, consumers continue to express intentions to purchase additional services ahead, especially dining out and streaming. They're always going to be streaming. Traveling and going to the movies were somewhat lower on the spending list in December, while personal care and healthcare moved up. Consistent with these findings on travel spending intentions, vacation plans were down for both domestic and international travel. Wow. So people are not going to be getting flued out as much is the anticipation. In the write-in response about factors affecting consumer views of the economy, mentions of politics, including the outcome of the November elections, continue to rise. Mentions of tariffs also increased in December. Notably, a special question this month showed that 46% of U.S. consumers expect tariffs to raise the cost of living, while 21% expect tariffs to create more U.S. jobs. I don't know. You might have to give and take. All right? You might have to give and take. So, present situation. Consumer assessment of current business conditions eroded somewhat in December. 19.1% of consumers said business conditions were good, down from 21.6% in November. 16.7% said business conditions were bad, up from 15.3%. Consumers' appraisal of the labor market improved in December. 37% of consumers said jobs were plentiful, up from 33.6% in November. That's a big jump, almost a 4% jump. 14.8% of consumers said jobs were hard to get, down from 15.2%. Now let's look at the expectations for 6 months hence. Consumers were less optimistic about the outlook for business conditions in December. 21.7% of consumers expected business conditions to improve, down from 24.7% in November. 18.3% expect business conditions to worsen, up from 15.9%. Consumers' assessment of the labor market outlook returned to being pessimistic. Geez, we are just on a downward spiral with this report. Why do we even pull this up? This is so disheartening. This is so disheartening.
I'm in a bind, Nate.
19.1% of consumers expected more jobs to be available, down from 22.8% in November. 21.3% anticipated fewer jobs, up from 17.9%. Consumers' assessment of their income prospects were less optimistic in December. 17.2% of consumers expected their income to increase, down from 20.7% in November. 14.3% expected their incomes to decrease, up from 12.1% in November. All right, so assessment of family finances and risk and recession risk. Consumers' assessments of their family's current financial situation were significantly less positive in December compared to last month. Consumers' assessments of their family's expected financial situation were somewhat less optimistic. Perceived likelihood of U.S. recession over the next 12 months remain near series low. Let's see, and that is it. Let me see. The monthly consumer confidence survey based on an online sample. It's conducted for the Conference Board of Tuluna, a technology company that delivers real-time consumer insights and market research through its innovative technology, expertise, and a panel of over 36 million. That's a pretty big number. That is a pretty big sample size. 36 million consumers. So pretty cool. All right. So that is it. Let's go back to full screen. And let's see what we got going on over here. Let's see. Yakar says that he gets that. I'm not talking about your prompts. I'm just talking about the large language models and how it's responding to the prompt. And it's not you or the overlay. And Yakar says, Ralph always wants to argue with me. What? Why is offering a clarification to what I'm saying arguing with anybody? My goodness. What is going on? What is going on here?
Bruh.
Nobody wants to argue with you, Yakar, or with Mitch. Well, maybe I do want to argue with Mitch, but that is because Mitch is my best friend.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
But yeah, I was just saying that I agree with what you're saying. It's probably not trained enough, but we could also do a better job prompting. That's what I'm saying. And there's many like pieces that are connected that we can be better. We can do a better job on as a whole, including the LLM and what we pass into it as well. Let me see. Mitch says, did your car win the lottery? I don't even think your car plays the lottery. I think you know how people say that I am simple. I think your car is the lottery. And Mitch says, just because it got foreclosed doesn't mean they didn't have the money necessarily. They could have just gave up or holding on to that money. I don't recall that I said that they didn't have the money. I just said that a house on my block got foreclosed on. For whatever the reason is, a foreclosure is a foreclosure. If I had to bet, I would say that they probably paid a whole lot of money for our neighborhood because the prices have been skyrocketing the past few years, as you've seen, and they probably bought the house at a much, much larger interest rate. And not to mention the insurance costs in Florida and the property taxes in South Florida especially, right? So it's I would say, and from what you're saying, they probably just gave up or they want to hold on to the money, which I agree with you. Maybe that's what they wanted to do, but it's also because. So here's a question for you, Mitch. Here's a question. If you end up buying a property and you paid too much for the property, you paid too high of an interest rate, you paid too high of insurance, and you paid too high in property taxes and whatever other, and not to mention like the rising costs and all the other like service and utilities fees and all that type of stuff, right? And I'm not even going to mention the type of cars they had parked outside their house, right? But did you make a bad decision? If all that you did led to foreclosure, did you make a bad decision? Whether you had the money, but you decided not to pay it and you gave up, or you just didn't have the money, whatever it is, did you make a bad decision? Right? So that's my question. And it says, You play on words and you confuse people. No. I think that you assume what I'm saying whatever I say is exactly what I mean. What I say is exactly what I mean. I said that a house got foreclosed on my block. So I'm interested to see in how the housing market is, where it's going. That's all. I didn't say that. I didn't say anything about the person who got foreclosed on. That's all. All right. It says a lot of those people paid more than 3 to 5% down payment, which is insane. I agree. I mean, well, wait. Hold on. Let me make sure I understand what you're saying. Hold on. So you're saying a lot of the people who purchased a home, they paid more than 3 to 5% as a down payment on their home. So like if they're buying a home for, to use an easy number, right? If they bought a home for $100,000, which there's no home that's $100,000 right now, right? But if they bought a home for $100,000, you're saying that it's bad that they put more than $3,000 down, $3,000 to $5,000 down. Like if they put 20%, so if they put $20,000 down on a $100,000 home, you're saying that's a bad thing that they did that, right? Is that what you're saying? To make sure I understand. And if so, why is that bad that they would put more than 3 to 5%? So curious to know. Unless, all right. So Mitch says, I think so because most had no extra. Okay. I got you. Okay. That I agree with you. I agree. But I would say though, why are you buying a house in that condition then? Like, why even, like, number one, why are you buying the house in that condition? And why put more than 3%? And wouldn't it be better if one, you could afford whatever the down payment was and have extra money left and not put 3? Because if you're putting 3%, you might be getting an FHA loan. There's some other loans that you can put less down, that you can put 3% down that you don't have other stuff that's tied along with it. But I'm just wondering. And Mitch says, again, depends on the person. Mitch, I think that you refuse to take a position on stuff. I think you're sitting on both sides of the fence. Like, oh, it depends. Is it a bad decision or not? In general, we can't analyze every single person's decision making, but in general, if you did all that what I described, right, and you can't afford it, or you just don't want, like you just say, I'm not paying for this anymore. Was that a bad decision? That's all. It says could have put more than 20% extra than refinance, but those rates are crazy. That is true. Anyways, enough of that. Let's continue on with the show because we have other stuff to talk about too. So let's go over to here, and we're done with the consumer confidence. Mitch, I am analytical as well, right? You're not just gonna come here and claim to be analytical. I am analytical, but I'm also able to see if something is a bad decision, looking at the trends and the average, or if something is a better decision, right? I'm not gonna say a good, but if something is a better decision. So I'm not gonna let you play both sides, right? That is not good. All right. Anyways, let's continue on with this. Let's go to new home sales. Let's go over to our Urban Dictionary, and we're going to search for new home sales. And let's see, do we have a new home sales report? Let me see. Who does the new home sales report? I have existing home sales, which is from NAR. Let me check our Bloomberg to see what I'm missing. All right, let's see what we got. I think I'm missing something. let's go to United States. Select all. And I'm just going to do these two. New home sales. Who is the new home sales? Let's take this. Oh, it is. Oh, it's the U.S. Census Bureau. Why don't I have that one on here? Home sales. So this is housing indicators. This is from NAR. Let me see what this is. Let me see what this is. Let me see what's going on here. But let me take this from Bloomberg because I'm kind of trying to figure out which report this is. Right. So new home sales measures the annualized number of single new family homes that were sold during the prior month. When it's released ahead of existing home sales, this report tends to have more impact because two reports are highly correlated. A reading that is stronger than forecast is generally bullish for the U.S. dollar, while weaker forecast reading is generally negative, bearish for the U.S. dollar. All right, so let's go. Might have to add this to our. We'll have to add this one. So let me make a note of that to add this. We don't. Let me see something. Residential. Do we not have this report? Huh. Why don't we have this one? Existing home sales, housing. I think that's different than housing indicators. All right, so let's take a look at this one. What page is this? So let's take the latest residential construction report. Wait, no, we reviewed this. Let's see. I'm confused by this report. Economic indicators. Let's see. Let me search for this. Census Bureau new home sales report. New residential sales. Okay, here it is. I thought. All right, let me add that. Let me add that to our backlog to add. So add new residential sales. To UDEC. All right, cool. Got it. All right, we're gonna add that. But for now, we'll just do very quick reading about this, and then we'll get into more details later on about it. But that's very weird. All right, so let's see. So new home sales of new single-family houses in November 2024 were at a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 664,000, according to the estimates released jointly today by the U.S. Census Bureau and the Department of Housing. We've reviewed this before. Why don't I have this? This is 5.9% above the revised October rate of 627,000, and it's at 8.7%, plus or minus 19.3%, above the November 2023 estimate of 611,000. Sales price. The median sales price of new homes sold in November 2024 was 402,600. The average sales price was 484,800. For sales inventory and monthly supply, the seasonally adjusted estimate of new houses for sales at the end of November was 490,000. This represents a supply of 8.9 months at the current sales rate. I'm very annoyed that we didn't have this in our dictionary. That's so weird. Let me see something. Let me check one more thing. Census. Housing indicators. Yeah, we don't have that one. That's so weird. That is so weird. I'm very surprised we don't have that. All right, well, that's what it is. Next month we'll get a much, much better breakdown of the new home sales report, but new home sold was 664,000. New houses for sale, 490,000. Median sales price is 402,600. I wonder if there is a chart that shows. I wonder if there's a chart that shows the cost. I'm curious to see the average cost of the median sales price. Let's see. Go Google. New home sales. Average median price month over month. So we have the median. Do we have a month over month? Let's see. All right, so the median sales price for new homes sold in the United States month over month, or this is more like a bigger time frame. But look at that. Back in like 1963, a household for 18,200, and in this was February of 1963. Now in November of 2024, 402,600. Crazy. So if you bought a house like that long ago, imagine. Whew, that's crazy. But let me zoom in a little bit more on this. Let me see. Can I zoom in? Let me see. Let's go to like that. So if we look at, do some more. So January was so average new home median price, or the median, which is middle, not average, but median sales price for January was 430,400, and then it went down to 420. Then it went up to 436, down to 415 in April, 414 in June. What was May? 414 in May, 429 in July, dropped to 405 in August, up to 418, 425, and then a big drop to 402 in November. All right. Mitch says, what group of people was that in 1963? I don't know, but I don't know that we could actually. I don't know where we'd find that information. Mitch, you're the data guy. You're the data guy. You find it and share with us. What group of people was that, Mitch? If you know, what group of people was that? But that's pretty cool. Pretty cool information. All right, let's go back to full screen. And let's see. I think we have one more. Let me see what the chat says. Let's see. Mitch says, you got more subs. I've been sub watching. You sub watching? You got more than someone we know. Deleting it now. What? You know what, Mitch? You probably should have started off with, do not read this. We'll edit that out. We will edit that out. Let's see. It says, I already know it wasn't you. Well, if you're talking about to who was buying homes in 1963, it couldn't be me because I wasn't alive at that time. I wasn't even a concept yet, right? I'm almost 3 years old in 1963. So yeah, it definitely was not me. My dad was 6 years old. So definitely wasn't me. Was not me. Let's see. All right, let's go to I'm just reading what you said. I didn't mean you, weirdo. You said it wasn't you. So I'm talk about confusing people. You said me, and then you said you didn't mean me. I am so lost. All right, let's get on to our last indicator for this week, and then we're gonna get into the other. Anyways, let's continue on. Mitch, I already set a new target. All right. So I just, I love everybody, but I set targets. After I meet those targets, we just keep going. If you, I don't know, no one's gonna know anyways. No one's gonna know anyways, Mitch. All right, let's continue on. Let's go to, we got that one done. And then we're going to go to our weekly jobless claims. We love our weekly jobless claims. It lets people know who is asking for help for the first time. They might have just recently got laid off. All right. So we're going to go over to here and we're going to say jobless. Weekly jobless claims. Planning what, Mitch? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Mitch? You see how low you think of me, Mitch? You see how low you think of me?
How dare you?
I'm appalled. I am appalled, Mitch. Anyways, let's go. So the Department of Labor's initial jobless claim report shows how many people who have recently lost their job and applied for unemployment benefits for the first time. It's released every Thursday and gives a snapshot of how the job market is doing in the United States. Initial jobless claims. Initial means these are people applying for unemployment benefits for the first time in a recent week. It doesn't include people who are already receiving benefits from earlier weeks. Why is it important? If the number of claims is high, it usually means that more people are losing their jobs, which could be a sign that the economy is struggling or slowing down. If the number is low, it means fewer people are losing jobs, which often points to a healthier job market. How is it used? The report helps businesses, governments, and even regular people understand if the market is getting better or worse. For example, if jobless claims suddenly spike, it could mean companies are laying off more workers and that might be a warning of a possible recession. If claims are dropping, it may suggest that companies are hiring and keeping employees, which is a good sign for the economy. All right, so let's get an example. What example could we use? What about let's go with what about an ESPN sports commentator? Let's try that. ESPN sports commentator. Let's go to here. Let's see if at all the weekly jobless claim has any effect on an ESPN sports commentator, right? So how does it affect the ESPN sports commentator? Economic context. If the weekly jobless claims are rising, meaning more people are losing jobs, it could suggest that the economy is struggling. When the economy is struggling, people have less disposable income, but they definitely have a lot of disposable time, I'll tell you that, which might affect their ability to spend on things like sports tickets, merchandise, or subscriptions to sports networks. Oh man, that's a pretty good connection. How does it affect them? I'm not 100% sure, but audience engagement. A sports commentator might mention this report during a discussion about how various factors could affect sports attendance and viewership. Well, that's a pretty good point. They won't do it, but I could see that. For instance, they might say, with rising jobless claims, we could see a dip in fan attendance at games this season as more fans might be tightening their budgets. I like this example. I don't see it happening, but I like this example. Sponsorship and advertising. Advertisers might also become more conservative in their spending if people are losing jobs. A commentator could point out that this might impact team sponsorship or advertising revenue on sports broadcasts, which can have a ripple effect on how teams and networks operate. Player contracts and trades. If the jobless claims are high and the economy is in bad shape, teams might be less willing to spend big money on player contracts and trades. A commentator could use this economic context to analyze a team's decision-making during a draft or free agency period. You would need to have some really, really, really smart sports commentators to make that connection for the audience. I'm just saying. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest, all right? Anyways, let's take a look at the jobless claims. And let's zoom in a little bit. So in the week ending of December 21st, the advanced figure of seasonally adjusted initial claims was 219,000, a decrease of 1,000 from the previous week's unrevised levels of 220. Yes, nothing. The fork moving average is 226,500, an increase of 1,000 from the previous week's unrevised average of 225. No changes really. The insured unemployment rate was 1.3% for the week ending of December 14th. Nothing to write home about here. Let me just scroll down to the bottom. The highest insured unemployment rates in the week ending of December 7th were in New Jersey, 2.4, California, 2.2, Alaska, Minnesota, Washington, 2.1, Rhode Island, 2, Puerto Rico, 1.9, Massachusetts, 1.8, Illinois, Montana, Nevada, New York, and Pennsylvania at 1.7. The largest increase in initial claims for the week ending of December 14th were in Nebraska. That's surprising. Nebraska, 392, Kentucky, 378, Colorado, 169, Rhode Island, 141, and Delaware, 98, while the largest decreases in New York at 6,807, Texas, 5,405, California, 5,279, Pennsylvania, 4,724, and Georgia, negative 4,662. That is our jobless claims, right? So I'm going to check the chat. We're going to take a quick look at a DXYZ thing. It's not a stock, if I remember. I forgot exactly what it is, but we'll find that out. We'll figure that out. And let me see what Mitch had to say. And you were thinking the same thing, just never said it. I'm not even going to show these. It says, should they get laid off time? It says, shots. Shots fired. Disposable time. I'm just saying. It's like people have a lot of time on their hands. And guess what? For me, if I still watch sports like I used to do, I promise, like, I would do the same thing I do when I'm watching like Chicago PD and stuff. I'd have my laptop in front of me, and as I'm editing video, creating thumbnails, scheduling stuff, planning for live streams, I would be like, have 75% of my attention on the work that I'm doing and 25% on the TV show, and I'll be going back and forth that way. I'm like, my cousin sent me, I'll probably try to play it at the end of the show, but she sent me this video the other day about always working, and it's like this guy has this laptop always working. I'll be in the sauna and I'm working. I'll be in front of the TV and I'm working. I'll be eating lunch or dinner and I'm working. But if I can play it, I'll play it. Anyways, I'm watching Colorado today. Awesome. I've never really watched college football, so that's just not my thing. I used to watch NFL, but don't even do that. All right, let's get to it. All right. We are going to look up this DXYZ. So let me go to, what is DXYZ stock? So Destiny Tech 100. Let me see. Let me go to it at, let's go here first, Destiny.xyz. The Destiny Tech 100. Destiny Tech 100 is designed to be an exchange-listed portfolio on the top 100 high-growth tech companies. The Destiny Tech 100 is a closed-end management investment company registered under the 1940 Act. We intend to invest in a portfolio of 100 of the top venture-backed private technology companies, providing everyday investors access to private market leaders for the first time. To be eligible for inclusion in the Destiny Tech 100, companies must have been vetted by top U.S. institutional investors and meet key health metrics. Moreover, companies in the portfolio will generally have reached a level of maturity and stability expected of a late-stage venture-backed company. Destiny Tech 100 common stock trades on the New York Stock Exchange, which is under the symbol DXYZ. The current portfolio construction is in progress, and values will change as we add more companies. Data based on holdings as of September 30th, 2024. So they have 36% in SpaceX, 12.2% in Revolt, Revolut. Axiom Space is 5.9%. OpenAI is 5.1%. Boom Supersonic is 4.1%. Superhuman is 4%. Epic Games is 3.7%. Instacart is 3.1%. Class Dojo is 2.7%. Stripe is 2.7%. Chime is 2.6%. relativity space 2.5. They have a lot of stuff in there. Let me see. The approach. Destiny Tech 100 takes a structure agnostic approach to portfolio construction, participating in primary rounds driven by the company as well as secondary purchases from existing shareholders. We seek best execution of the portfolio, accessing top companies at attractive prices and structures. And we've seen that our flexibility to invest in multiple classes of equity, equity-linked and equity-related securities enables this effectively. Execution, however, necessitates opportunity. Our team's relationship and deep market expertise also serves to provide everyday investors institutional, quality, and private market access for the first time. All right, let's go to back over here. And let's take a look at the Yahoo Finance for it. So if we look, so this is for the, I guess the last day. So if we do a 5-day, let's do a year today from the beginning of the year. It is started at 65.3. No, hold on. Let me see. 1 year. So $320. So it started. All right. So it started. So they don't even have a 5. They have a 1 year. Not even a 1 year. It started in March, right? So I guess we could just look at that. So it's opened at 8:25. And it closed at 9 on the first day that it was started being traded on the New York Stock Exchange, and it was pretty stable. So it went up to, on the first day it went up to, or on the second day I should say, or not the second day, but it's like within like 2 weeks or so. On April 8th, it went all the way up to 90. It opened at 64. It went all the way up to 99. It was progressively increasing, and then it took a big jump on 4.8, and then it took a sharp dive on 4.9. So whoever bought it at that 99, they took a dive over here, and then it went all the way back down in in May. So whoever bought it at like at the $8 they probably did pretty good. And then it stayed down, and then it started to go up in around November from about $11-ish, and then now it's at 63. So if you bought here, or even here for the most part, but here or like around here, and you held all the way to now, then you're probably in a good shape. But now it looks like it's pretty much staying for, at least for this month, it's been staying at over here. But who they have listed is pretty bad. I mean, I'm sorry, not pretty bad. It's pretty good. It's pretty good who they have listed, like SpaceX being a big part of it. I don't see SpaceX going anywhere. They have some other big names. It's a pretty young stock. It's a pretty young exchange though, or not exchange, but fund. A pretty young ETF. Yeah, but something to definitely keep an eye on, because it could be a good thing. It could be a good thing. Maybe funneling, some portion, some allocating something to it might be a good play, but I don't know. But definitely happy that we looked into it. Definitely happy that we looked into it. Mitch says, but those are the people making money. It says that's not stopping. Are you referring to the disposable time comment? It says, are you trying to get verified on Twitch, like that affiliate thing they have? I haven't looked much onto the Twitch side of things yet, so I don't know. I just think that the Twitch audience is different from what I've seen. Like, it's more gaming there, but I'm like, it doesn't cost or hurt me to stream there. And if it ends up getting a big growth, then if it ends up getting a big growth, then that'd be pretty cool. Oh, okay. You're talking about the always work. Okay, gotcha. Always working. So, but those are the people that are making money, and that's hey. I mean, but if you want to make money, then you should adjust. Maybe you have to look into your work ethic. Maybe you have to look into your work ethic. Just saying. I'm just saying. And I don't make like a bunch of money, but I'm preparing myself to everything that you see that we're doing here is to prepare ourselves for any opportunity that arises. All right. All right. So with that being said, we're going to jump over to. Let me read this real quick. So I did research, and I think they do in real life. Really on Twitch? Interesting. And by in real life, do you mean like where they are going out and about into like maybe a store or something like that, or do you mean like where it's a show where kind of like the IRL shows where it's a group of people talking, but they're in like the same location and stuff like that? All right, so let's go over here. And so let's take a quick look at this HR 9566. So I saw this on a show yesterday about some bills that President Biden is signing into law. And I wanted to take a quick look at this one because this one was related to tech stuff. So let's zoom in on that. And we're at the Congress's website. And so 118th Congress of the United States at the second session begun and held the city of Washington. All right, so I don't need all that. Says, all right, so an act to require government-wide source code sharing and for other purposes. So that's what I'm trying to understand. What is the source code sharing you're talking about? Like, who's creating the source code? And then are they creating it for the government so it to belong to the government? Or is the government contracting out that code? All right. So let me take a quick look at something real quick. Cool. All right. So let me see. All right. So be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America. Yada, yada. All right. So I don't want to go. I just want to get to the important stuff. Let me see. Custom developed code. The term A means source code that is produced in the performance of a contract with an agency or it's otherwise exclusively funded by the federal government. So then that means it would belong to the government okay? Why would okay? Developed by a federal employee as part of the official duties of the employee. Includes source code or segregable portions of source code for which the federal government could obtain unlimited rights under the Part 27 of Federal Acquisition Regulation or any relevant supplemental acquisition regulation of the agency. Source code written for a software project, module, plugin, script, middleware, or application programming interface, and does not include source code that is solely exploratory or disposable in nature, including source codes written by a developer experimenting with a new language or library. Commercial computer software, commercial off-the-shelf software, COTS, or configurable scripts such as such software. Federal employee has, whatever. Metadata has meaning given section, yada, yada. Let's see, software meaning given the term computer software. Code, all right. The term source code means collection of computer commands written in a computer program. All right, got it. So where is the actual law now? Where is the actual law? Because what I'm trying to understand is why doesn't the code already belong to it? Like, why is there a bill being passed to say that the code, if somebody hired me to develop an application for them, right? Or, okay, I think I understand what's going on. I think I understand what's going on. So I don't know how I feel about that. I got to think about that. But pretty much just what they're saying is, if the government contracted me to build an application for them, right? Generally, I would say, here's the application delivered to you for you to use, but the source code is mine, right? The application is yours, but the source code is mine. What the government is saying is, no, we want the source code as well, which to me, I think is fine. But as contractors, you better charge for that source code because the source code is your intellectual property. The application that is being built is for them to use. So by you giving them the source code, right, that means that they can get rid of you and then have their internal people, employees, to continue enhancing, which they're probably going to do a crappy job anyways. But that's so they want the source code. And honestly, you don't give up your source code. You do not give up your source code unless they're paying for the source code. And that's so this law is saying, all right, we want the source, we want you to build us an application. We also want you to give us the source code so that we can take control of it and we can manipulate it and we can give it to other people to work on as well. Which it is not a typical software development practice to give your source code. You give the finished product, but not all this, not everything that goes into the soup, right? Not the recipe. You give the finished product, but you do not give the recipe. So that is interesting. That is interesting. So this act shall apply to custom developed code that is developed or revised by a federal employee not less than 180 days after the date of enactment under a contract awarded pursuant to the solicitation issued not less than 180 days after the date of enactment. And why is it important to keep your source code though? That is because you can, like, one, you keep your client coming back because you own the source code, and that's how you handcuff them. But number two, you can having that intellectual property, you can take that and you can optimize it to work on other applications as well, where you have the framework, the concept, and then you use that, you reuse it for something else. But they're saying that no, although that you're building us the finished product, we also want you to give us everything that it took to build it, right? So that's pretty interesting, right? But that is it for there. Let me see. Let's see. It says, so you said, yeah, they do both. So they do like when you're going out and about, as well as the panel discussions. People will watch you even sleep. That is crazy. That is crazy. I'm trying to get a sponsorship, but no free promo from the brand. And I want from the brand. Mitch, are you on Twitch? Are you on Twitch, Mitch? And if so, what is the Twitch name? What is the Twitch name, Mitch? I gotta know. Did you know that Amazon bought Twitch? I had no idea. I did not know that. I did not know that because Amazon also has live streaming as well, but I don't know what people use the Amazon live streaming for. I got to check into that. All right, let's get into our term limits discussion for today. So I'm going to play this video real quick, right? And then we're going to talk more about the whole term limits thing. So let me do it like this. And I want to go to... And I'll go here. Hopefully this works. All right, let's go over to watch this video real quick about term limits. So this video talks about why, it's a good in thought, but the execution. All right, so let's just watch it.
Term limits often suggest that if we could just get new voices in, we could solve a lot of the problems that we have. It just isn't that simple.
That's why, after much prayer and discussion with family and friends, I've decided to retire at the end of this term.
After 7 terms in office, Utah Senator Orrin Hatch is calling it quits after 40 years in the U.S. Senate. While there's currently no cap on how many terms members of Congress are allowed to serve, imposing congressional term limits has always been a popular idea among the American public, with polls showing about 75% of U.S. adults supporting them. But what if that's not such a great idea?
You can't just put new people in because the institution provides the same incentives for the majority party to work against the minority party. It doesn't matter if person A is there or person B is there.
So term limits might open up seats that were once held by incumbents, but ultimately,
You'd likely be replacing one Democrat with another Democrat, one Republican with another Republican.
in fact, states that have imposed term limits have polarized faster than states without them. Nebraska is one example. Its unicameral legislature is the only one of its kind in the country, a single house with no official parties. In 2000, Nebraska adopted term limits, and since then, its government has polarized faster than any other in the country.
When they introduced term limits, the party organizations and the governor and others became much more powerful in determining who won.
When those seats opened, Republican leaders recruited loyal conservatives to run while Democratic leaders sought reliable liberals.
I think that one of the biggest misconceptions that the public has about term limits is that having people with government experience is a bad thing. You remove members who have developed kind of an overtime relationship with members of the other party and have found ways to foster bipartisanship and figure out where common ground may lie.
And while the public has a relatively low opinion of Congress as a whole, people's own representatives have much higher approval ratings.
And for many people, they wouldn't necessarily like to see their own member term limited out. They'd like to see those other members term limited out. It's not something with an easy, simple fix of one reform and you would dramatically change the interactions of the parties and the degree of partisan conflict.
All right, so I just wanted to play that video of an opinion that I heard about from term limits, right? And I'm going to read some of the comments that we had about term limits, and I'm going to share mine. All right, so Yakar had said that he needs to be president. He'll play nice the whole campaign, but then once he gets in office, then he's going to send them to Guantanamo Bay to make license plates. What? I mean, that would make you no different than any other politician, Yakar. Let me see. Yakar had said the most of the crooked people who are motivated by ill gain won't even enter into the field of politics. If you're saying if there are term limits in place that nefarious people won't enter into the field of politics, I don't know about that. I don't know, because guess what? You have ill-gain people who are entering the field of accounting, taxes, your local corner store. I think at the end of the day, politicians are elected by the people who are the scammers who get elected to Congress and stuff like that are no different than the scammers who are voting for them to get there. So look at Chicago, from Lori Lightfoot to what's that guy's name? Brandon Johnson. We have the Dalton County mayor and township lady. And then when they ousted her, the way that they ousted her was a scam in itself. So it's and Yakar has said, why is Byron Donalds up there? He just got in 2021. He was a financial analyst before this. He's like Trump. He's not really a politician, but a businessman. Guess what? Byron Donalds is up there because he already served one term, right? He just got a second term. Now, for the people, I think he's in like the Fort Myers district of Florida. What if they really, really, really like him, right? But you only get 2 terms in Congress, so he might have been really, really effective in his job. But they're like, you only get 2 terms. Now you have to choose somebody else. All right, and it says unless you put him up there because he advocates for term limits. I put him up there because he's in Congress. That's all. Ron DeSantis is a governor of Florida. Nancy Pelosi is in the House of Representatives forever. Chuck Schumer in the Senate for, I think he's been there for a long time. And then he recently, like not recently, but he became the Senate majority or minority leader, depending on which party controls the Senate, after, I think it was the senator from Nevada had resigned. I forgot his name. Harry Reid. After Harry Reid had resigned back in like 16ish or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but he resigned, but he stopped running. But that is why I had I put Byron Donalds up there because I like him, and he's in Congress, so he would be up for term limits the same as everybody else. What should those term limits be? Right. So let me see. So it says don't forget ATL. I don't even know who is an ATL. I don't even know who's up there. I mean, I know they have the district, like they have Fani Willis over there, but she's a DA. So now the question is there term limits for just federal, like Congress, or is there term limits for everything, like including the local mayor, including the district attorney, the judges? Does everybody get term limits, right? So my thoughts on term limits, because Mitch said, what do you think? What do you think? So I think that when it comes to term limits, it's something that makes people feel good to talk about, but it won't make a difference one way or the other. Because number one, I think that the reason that I love the United States of America is that people have the freedom to make absolute terrible decisions. So there are primaries that happen every single election cycle for whatever it is that you're running for, right? You have so let's use Byron Donalds, right? If the members of his district believe that he is doing an amazing job, right? But he reaches a term limit, and now he has to he gets he can't run anymore. So now you have to get somebody else that hopefully they're gonna do an amazing job, but they might not, or you get somebody different who's running on a different party, and now so for me, I'm like, being that I live in Florida, right? I like Ron DeSantis. But I believe Florida has term limits. Let me confirm that. Florida governor. Let me see. Term limits on governors. So Florida has term limits of 2 consecutive terms.
The sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
And terms of 4-year terms. So it looks like Florida. So that means that Ron DeSantis cannot run again for the governor of Florida, right? So, but if he's doing a great job, right? Now, and if the people of Florida wanted him again, they can't have him again because Florida has term limits in place for governor, right? Now there's always primaries. If somebody's doing a bad job, primary them. See, so many people, especially when it comes to a district-wide or even a statewide, people have the right to make their own bad decisions or good decisions, but they have the right to make their own decisions. So if people do not like Nancy Pelosi, right? Primary her. Vote for the opposing team. But if she's able to raise money and get people to back her and to whatever, however it is that she's been winning for the past 1,000 years, right? That's on the people deciding. I don't want to take the choice from away from people of choosing who to represent them. Why is it up to me that I would say that, that I would say, all right, well, you want this person as your leader? Well, they can't be your leader anymore. Not on me. If you don't like them, choose somebody else. Like, advocate, campaign, whatever, for a better option. But a big part of the problem is that our votes are so cheap. They don't mean nothing. They just tell you something nice and like, oh, okay, that sounds good. Or you're just so used to doing the same thing all the time that you don't you just vote without even thinking about it. You don't take any objective thought to it. And do I think that if you're forced to let's say there were term limits in Congress, right? Let's say members of the House can't serve for more than 6 terms, which would be like 12 years, right? Because every 2 years they have to campaign. So let's say we'll use Nancy Pelosi because that's on the thumbnail, or let's use that other congressperson, right? Jasmine Crockett. What if the people in her district really like her or don't like her, right? But they vote for her for all 6 terms, so she has her 12 years, and then all that's going to happen is that they're just going to put another person who's just like her, whether you like her or you don't like her. They're just going to put another her in place. So it's not going to me, it doesn't make a difference. People are always going to vote on who they want to represent them for whatever reason that is. It could be for economic reason. It could be for cultural reason. It could be for racial reasons, whatever. But I always hear, oh, there needs to be term limits. You're just going to make another, like, people were talking about in Chicago, Lori Lightfoot, and they replaced it with Brandon Johnson. Like, did it get better or worse for you guys now? Right? So that's why for me, I'm like, I don't care. It's not going to make a difference. You might get a little better. You might get a little worse. It might get a lot better. It might get a lot worse. But I don't think it's the term limits that drive whether it's going to, like, what difference it's going to make. You know, I like I said, I think people should be able to choose who they want to be their leader, who they want to represent them. So that's my take on it. That is my take on it. Let me know your thoughts. If you're watching this in replay or you're watching the clip of it, leave me a comment. Let me know if I'm off on something. Let me know if I'm missing something, all of that good stuff. But I'm just curious because for me, term limits aren't going to make much of a difference. It can actually hurt you if you like your leader. And if you don't like your leader, campaign against them and get them voted out instead of like, well, we just have to wait till the 12 years because because these people keep voting for this person. Well, convince them why this is a bad choice, or move to a place that is better suited for you. That's my thoughts. That is my thoughts. Right? Yeah. That's it. That is it. All right. Let's see. Any final thoughts? Let me see. Mitch says, where the party at today? Hey. I might be meeting up with some people in the afternoon today. We'll see. We shall see. Let me see. But that is it. What you got going on today, Mitch? What do you have going on for today? I'm curious to hear what your plans are for today. Anything exciting happening on your end? And Mitch, do you have Twitch? Are you on Twitch, Mitch? Do you follow me on Twitch, Mitch? Do you follow me on Twitch? Are you watching in both locations at one time? All right. With that being said, I'm going to wrap it up for today. Remember, I might be leaving the porch. Mitch, I don't know if you're here when I spoke about this on Thursday. I got home at like 12:30 midnight on Christmas night. You know, I got home late. And then I was up early, so I left the porch for one day. I was out since like 2 in the afternoon, all the way to like midnight. So I left the porch, but I might leave the porch for a few hours, right? Mitch, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I got you. All right. So final thoughts. Remember, next month we're starting the ethical hacking course. We're going to be installing UTM or VirtualBox, depending on what operating system that you're at. We're going to be installing Kali Linux, and we're going to start going through that. Starting on probably Wednesday we're going to start the LLM course, large language models, and then we're going to continue on Sundays doing the DevOps course, right? And all these things are connected because guess what? Let's say you develop your own large learning model or your own or your own chatbot, right? You're going to need a place to host it, right? So you're going to need some DevOps to set up your infrastructure. You're going to need security to protect your LLM as well. So everything that I do from 20 years ago, still using it till today, everything is connected. So keep that in mind. Mitch says, do you think jobs will be picking up? I think so, but I also believe that you should always be ready as well for when your number is called to be put in the game. I think a lot of people, they wait too long to actually they wait until they get called up to get ready instead of always practicing, always being ready. And then so I'm telling you, one of the ways that I train my people is like, all right, you're one of the people that I just got, right? They're taking a CCNA course at a community college next month, starting it for the spring semester. And I said, all right, cool. Well, between now and the time that school starts, you need to take this Udemy course for CCNA and for networking to learn as much as possible. So when you actually get to the school, it's going to be a breeze. We're going to do the same thing for all the other classes that they have to take so that they can be ready. And school is going to be super easy because they're going to work a lot harder now and so that they can have an easy go ride in school. I got somebody else who's actually starting working at a bank next week. And I was like, all right, well, you need to learn everything about banking because you don't know anything about banking. So I have them taking a course now, learning about banking as well, so that once they get into training, it's very, very easy for them to consume the information so that they're like trying to pick up and trying to grasp it now. Yes, we practice, we get ready because we are here. We're engineered to win. Nobody, absolutely nobody is going to defeat us. All right. All right. Let me finish up with what Mitch is saying and then we're going to get out of here. It says, people don't realize if you learn this stuff, you can do it for yourself 100%. 100%. I was talking to somebody the other day who is, you guys know, but I'm not gonna share names if they're not here and they haven't given me permission to share what we've been talking about. I'm not gonna say who, but they are very happy in the field that they're working in, but they also want to learn more about coding and stuff like that. So we've been talking. I'm like, well, start thinking about what ways in your day-to-day work there are some annoyances, things that you see could be better. And then let me help you learn how to code and technology and stuff like that so that you can even start creating your own stuff that can help you do your job better. And then if you have to get it approved and licensed, who knows what the future holds, but let's start learning together so that it's not like you're going into a new field, but you can start creating stuff for yourself. And then it might pick up and somebody might want it and whatever. So it's always about starting and building something for you. And hopefully it brings value to other people. But if it just brings value to you, then that's all that really matters. If I'm the only one who ever used the Urban Dictionary of Economic Data, that's cool with me because I use it and I'm learning from it. So everything that I've done is because I want to do it and it helps me to bring value to me. It says, that used to be me. I used to wait. I was 14 though. Well, better for you to wait at 14 than at whatever age you are now. Right, Mitch? And let me see. And they can consult on the side if they want. Exactly. Like you can do your own stuff, right? You can do your own stuff. You're not handcuffed by a job. A lot of people are like, I want to learn this to get a job. I want to learn this to get a job. And I'm like, you need to learn this so that you can do more than just a job. I'm always like, what can I do with this? What can I do with that? What can I? And I'm like, all right, well, it'll benefit my job, but it can also, but I want it to benefit me first. Always me first. Always me first. Right? And Mitch says, my girl.
Hey.
Which one though, Mitch? Which one? I didn't mean it that way. I did not mean it that way. All right? I did not mean it that way. Okay? I'm just saying, like, I'm not just saying which one, Mitch? Which one? That's all. That's all. And Mitch says that he is younger than me. I don't know, Mitch. You got to prove it. You got to prove it. You have got to prove it. It says the person you don't even know who I'm talking about. You don't know who I'm talking about, Mitch. You don't know who I'm talking about, but you would appreciate it anyways, right? Okay. I'm just saying you don't know who I'm talking about, Mitch. You don't know who I'm talking about in this instance. You're assuming you know who I'm talking about, but you don't know. Or maybe you do know. Who knows? You might be right. You might be wrong. You might be right. You might be wrong. All right. But we're done for today. We are done for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for hanging out with me, Mitch. We had a great talk. I really enjoyed talking about the term limits. I enjoyed looking into Destiny 100. And we're going to run it up. All right. But with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. Did you guys have a good time? Did you guys have a good time?
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
I am very, very entertained. I had a great time. Remember, this is the Weekly Economics Show, hosted by Mitch and Yakar. Right? So remember.
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
The price of the brick is always going up. All right? And on that note, this is Tech Coach Ralph. We are out.
It's Tech Coach Ralph TV.
Yeah, men lying, women lying, numbers manipulate. Don't matter what no one say, I throw the stats away. No need for calculators, we already greater. No need to validate us. It's Tech Coach Ralph TV. Get up, it is Saturday morning. I've got to get my coffee cause I can't stop yawning. Get to watch my favorite show today. Men lie, women lie, numbers manipulate. Tech Coach Ralph and Mitch and Yakar, that's how it be. Shooting galaxies from their hands, it's Tech Coach Ralph TV. You don't need to grab your remote because you'll be floating free. Don't gotta worry about negative forces, it's positivity. Get up, it is Saturday morning. I've got to get my coffee cause I can't stop yawning. Get to watch my favorite show today. Men lie, women lie, numbers manipulate. Get up, it is Saturday morning. I've got to get my coffee cause I can't stop the yawning. But I get to watch my favorite show today. Men lie, women lie, numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Men lie, women lie. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Men lie, women lie. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Tech Coach Ralph and Mitch and Yakar, that's how it be. Shooting galaxies from their hands, it's Tech Coach Ralph TV. You don't need to grab your remote because you'll be floating free. Don't gotta worry about negative forces, it's positivity. Tech Coach Ralph and Mitch and Yakar, that's how it be. Shooting galaxies from their hands, it's Tech Coach Ralph TV. You don't need to grab your remote because you'll be floating free. Don't gotta worry about negative forces, it's positivity. Get up, it is Saturday morning. I've got to get my coffee cause I can't stop yawning. Get to watch my favorite show today. Men lie, women lie, numbers manipulate. Yeah, number manipulate. Yeah, numbers manipulate. Yeah, numbers manipulate. numbers manipulate.
I'm so tired of being taken advantage of. Haters love when I give, when I'm staying underpaid. But when I'm winning, I'm forgotten. They say I love you, but they're plotting. Don't scream out that I love you. Show me who you are first. 'Cause I really hate to trust in you when you end up being so hurtful. They say it's family over everything, right? Well, to me that really means nothing if they're not loving, no. And it's family over everything, right? Well, to me that really means nothing if they're not loving. They are the very ones who know how to break us down, who can put us down in the worst way. When you scream out that you love me, show me who you are first. 'Cause I really hate to put up with you when you end up being so hurtful. They say it's family over everything, right? Well, to me that really means nothing if they're not loving, no. And it's family over everything, right? Well, to me that really means nothing if they're not loving. Tired of your sad excuses, no more desperate pleas. Turning backs on sorrow, can't bow to your disease. You wallow in your pity, but we're now standing tall. No more feeling sorry while you've built yourself a wall. Stop pointing fingers, it's a circle of deceit. You've painted your own picture, now feel your own defeat. Broken mirrors show no mercy, they've been cracked for years. We're done with your reflection and your crocodile tears. No more blame, no more shame, we won't feed your game. You played your cards, you took your chance, now live with your own name. Broken dreams and empty cries won't sway us anymore. Pack your bags and walk away, we're locking up the door. You say the world's against you, but look inside yourself. The answers you've been seeking are an